Have you ever felt a married woman's eyes linger on you just a little too long and wondered if it meant something more? That silent pull, that unspoken tension, it's the kind of moment men replay in their minds over and over, searching for answers. If you've ever been caught in that mystery, you're not alone. And before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to Psychology of Desire, because here we uncover the hidden truths about attraction, love, and the signals most people never see. There's a moment some men know too well but rarely speak about. You meet a woman, confident, graceful, magnetic, and there's something about her that pulls you in. Maybe it happens at work, maybe in a social gathering, or maybe it's someone you've known casually for a long time. She's married, committed in the eyes of the world, and yet, every now and then, there's a spark in the air when she's near. Something subtle, something unspoken. It's not loud or obvious, because it can't be, but it's there, and deep down, you can feel it. But how do you know if it's real? How do you know if a married woman is secretly attracted to you, or if it's all in your head? The truth is, women rarely put these feelings into words, especially if they're already committed. But their bodies, their voices, their tiny behaviors, they can't always hide those. If you know what to look for, you'll see the signs, and once you learn them, you'll never look at these encounters the same way again. The first and most powerful sign is the way her eyes behave around you. Eyes are the one thing that betray what the lips won't confess. A married woman who secretly feels drawn to you won't just give you casual glances. Instead, her gaze lingers. She might look at you when she thinks you're not watching, then quickly look away if you catch her. Sometimes it's a flicker of a smile paired with that stolen glance. Other times, it's a soft stare that lasts just a little longer than it should. In psychology, this is called prolonged gaze behavior, and it often happens when someone is experiencing hidden attraction. If you've ever caught her doing this, you know how powerful that silent language can be. The second sign is her energy shifts when you're around. This one is harder to explain, but easier to feel. Imagine being in a room where people are talking casually, and suddenly she walks in. Her tone of voice changes when she speaks to you. Her laughter is a little louder, her smile a little brighter. It's as if she unconsciously wants to stand out to you, even when there's no obvious reason to. Married or not, attraction has a way of lighting people up. If her demeanor shifts only in your presence, that's not random, it's a signal. Another powerful clue lies in her subtle touches. Married women who are secretly attracted may never be bold enough to make direct moves, but their bodies often find ways to close the gap. A touch on your arm when she laughs, a brush of her hand when passing something, or even standing closer than necessary. All of these are quiet ways of creating a physical connection without drawing attention. What makes it even more telling is consistency. If she does it once, it could be coincidence. But if it happens again and again, especially in moments that don't call for it, it's her attraction trying to find a way out. You'll also notice the way she remembers small details about you. A woman who's secretly drawn to you pays attention. She might recall something you said weeks ago, even if it was small. She'll notice your mood, pick up on your habits, or even remember your preferences. Why? Because attraction sharpens focus. Even if she tries to hide it, her mind is collecting details about you because on some level, you matter to her more than she wants to admit. Another hidden sign is jealousy masked as curiosity. She might ask about other women in your life, but in a casual, almost playful way. So, are you seeing anyone? Who was that you were talking to? These questions might sound lighthearted, but beneath them is a deeper motive. She wants to know if she has competition, even though she has no reason to ask, being married herself. This contradiction is one of the clearest signs of suppressed attraction. But here's the thing you need to understand. When a married woman shows attraction, it's rarely about making bold moves. It's about creating subtle openings, moments where she feels seen, desired, or connected without stepping too far into dangerous territory. And that's what makes spotting these signs so complicated. You're not looking for confessions, you're looking for hints hidden in plain sight. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Attraction isn't something people can turn off at will, even if they want to. It's a natural force wired into us, For married women, this creates a silent tug of war between loyalty and desire, between commitment and curiosity. And when she's around a man she feels drawn to, that battle plays out in her micro behaviors, in her laughter, her gaze, her proximity, and her attention. If you learn to read these signals, you'll start to see what most men miss. But here's the important part. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean you have to act on them. Attraction is not the same as intention. Just because a married woman feels drawn to you doesn't mean she's ready or even wants to take it further. Sometimes it's simply the thrill of connection, the unspoken bond, the spark that makes her feel alive again. And in many cases, it ends right there, in the silence, in the stolen glances, in the moments that almost become something more. So the question isn't just, is she attracted to me? The real question is, what should I do with that knowledge? And that's where things get even more interesting, because the way you handle those signals says more about you than it does about her. Sometimes the most telling signs of hidden attraction aren't the ones you see, but the ones you feel. You can sense the tension in the air when she's around, that subtle electricity that makes conversations linger longer than they should. It's not just what she says, it's the way she says it, the pauses between her words, the way her voice softens or quickens depending on the subject. When a married woman is secretly attracted to you, she often reveals it in her voice without even realizing. Psychologists call this paralinguistic change, the unconscious shift in tone, pitch, and rhythm when we talk to someone we're drawn to. For example, she might speak in a warmer, softer voice when addressing you, or she might tease you more often, almost playfully. These aren't random quirks. They're micro-expressions of desire, ways her subconscious tries to get closer without crossing an obvious line. Another powerful clue is emotional availability. You may notice that she opens up to you in ways she doesn't with others. Maybe she shares small frustrations about her life, her marriage, or even her dreams. Sometimes it starts innocently, a story about her day, a laugh about something her husband didn't notice. But over time, those conversations may grow deeper. Why you? Because attraction isn't always about looks or charm. It's about connection. If she's emotionally invested in talking to you, it means you're occupying a space in her mind that few others do. Then there's her body language in group settings. Married women who are secretly attracted often find subtle ways to position themselves near you, even in a crowded room. She may angle her body toward you when she talks, lean in closer than necessary, or even mimic your gestures unconsciously. A psychological phenomenon known as mirroring. Mirroring happens when someone is so in tune with you that their body naturally reflects your movements. It's not done on purpose. It's an instinctual sign of rapport and hidden attraction. But perhaps the most revealing sign is in her slip-ups. You see, no matter how hard someone tries to hide their feelings, attraction has a way of slipping through cracks. Maybe she lets out a compliment that sounds a little too personal. Maybe she asks about your love life in a way that feels just a bit too curious. Or maybe she blushes, fumbles her words, or laughs nervously in your presence. These slip-ups are like windows into the emotions she's trying to keep contained. Of course, there's another layer to this: her availability of time. If a married woman is secretly attracted to you, she will create small opportunities to be near you. Maybe she lingers after a meeting, extends a conversation, or accidentally runs into you more than once. Time is one of the most valuable things anyone can give. If she's finding ways to spend it with you without reason, it speaks volumes. And yet, attraction in these circumstances is a delicate game. Because behind every signal, there's conflict. She knows she's married, she knows boundaries exist, but desire is not logical. It's emotional. That's why her behavior may sometimes feel contradictory. One day she might be warm, playful, even flirty. The next, she may pull back, act distant, or pretend nothing is happening at all. That push and pull dynamic isn't random. It's the tug of war between her heart and her conscience. If you've ever been caught in this whirlwind, you know how confusing it feels. You wonder, is she sending signals or am I imagining it? You question yourself, replaying every word, every glance, every subtle laugh. But here's the truth. When a married woman is secretly attracted, she will reveal it in more ways than one. It's not just one signal, but a collection of them. Her eyes, her voice, her body language, her questions, her time, her slip-ups. When you start noticing these patterns together, the picture becomes clear. And here's something most men don't realize. Attraction doesn't always mean dissatisfaction with her marriage. Sometimes it's simply about the way you make her feel. You might awaken a side of her that she hasn't felt in years, a sense of being noticed, desired, understood. To her, you may represent excitement, curiosity, or even escape. That doesn't mean she's unhappy at home, it just means she's human. But let's pause here for a moment because this story has another side. It's not only about spotting attraction, it's about knowing what it means for you. When you recognize these signals, you hold a choice. You can acknowledge them and move on, or you can engage and step deeper into dangerous territory. That choice shapes not only her life, but yours. And that's why it's so important to read these signs with both clarity and caution. Attraction may be undeniable, but the way you respond defines the outcome. There's something magnetic about the way attraction sneaks into the smallest details of human interaction. It's not the grand gestures, it's the subtle cues, the ones you almost miss if you're not paying attention. With a married woman, those cues often come in the form of vulnerability. Vulnerability is rare. Most people wear masks, especially in marriage, where routine and roles can make everything feel predictable. But when she starts letting those walls down around you, it's not by accident. Maybe she shares something about her past that's deeply personal. Maybe she tells you about her struggles, her fears, or even her frustrations at home. In those moments, she isn't just talking, she's trusting. And trust is one of the strongest indicators of hidden desire, because we rarely expose our most fragile truths to someone unless they mean something to us. Another powerful sign lies in validation-seeking behavior. Watch closely. Does she ask your opinion on small things, like her appearance, her outfit, or even decisions in her life? On the surface, it might seem casual, but underneath, it's something more. When a woman values your perspective above others, especially her husband's, it signals that she sees you as more than just another voice. She wants your approval, your affirmation. That need is born from attraction. It's her way of asking, do you notice me? Do I matter to you? Then there's the digital trail. In today's world, attraction doesn't just live in face-to-face interaction, it spills over into texts, social media, and subtle online engagement. Maybe she likes your posts more often than others. Maybe she replies faster to your messages than anyone else's. Maybe she sends you little notes late at night when no one else is watching. These aren't coincidences, they're calculated risks. A married woman who's secretly drawn to you knows the danger of being caught, yet she still chooses to connect. That choice alone speaks volumes about what she's feeling. But here's where it becomes even more complex. Attraction is not always loud. Sometimes it's in the silence. Have you ever noticed the long pauses when she looks at you? The way she seems lost in thought? Or the quiet moments that feel heavier than words? Silence can scream louder than conversations. In those moments, it's as if the unspoken desire hangs in the air, waiting for one of you to break it. You might also notice protective jealousy. Even though she's married, she may subtly react when other women show interest in you. It might be a quick question, who was that texting you? Or a half-playful, half-serious comment about your attention being elsewhere. This isn't just curiosity, it's her way of staking a hidden claim, of testing where she stands in your life. That jealousy, though she may deny it, is one of the clearest signals of her secret attraction. And yet, one of the most undeniable signs is consistency of attention. People can fake attraction for a moment, but not over time. If she consistently finds ways to check in on you, to connect, to share her world, it's because she's drawn to you. Attraction is energy, and energy seeks direction. If hers keeps flowing toward you, it's no accident. But let's not romanticize this too much, because this attraction carries weight. Married women who find themselves drawn outside their vows often wrestle with guilt and confusion. That's why you may see her swing between being open and being guarded. One day she may pour out her heart, and the next she may retreat into silence, avoiding you completely. That inconsistency isn't rejection, it's inner conflict. She's battling with herself, trying to reconcile what she feels with what she knows. For you, this creates a storm of mixed signals. And if you've ever been caught in that storm, you know how emotionally draining it can be. You feel pulled closer one moment, pushed away the next. You wonder if you're imagining it or if the tension is real. But here's the truth. People rarely show the same pattern of attention, vulnerability, and jealousy to someone they aren't attracted to. Those signals, together, paint a very clear picture. Still, the ultimate sign, the one that can't be faked, is in her eyes. Eyes reveal what words conceal. You'll notice it when she holds your gaze just a second too long, when her pupils dilate in your presence, when her glance lingers on you, even when she thinks you're not looking. Eye contact is intimate, primal, and almost impossible to control. If her eyes search for yours over and over again, it's not chance, it's desire. And this is where the story turns inward, because it's not just about spotting attraction, it's about understanding what it means for you. Attraction is powerful, yes, but it comes with consequences. The question isn't just, is she attracted? The question is, what will you do with that knowledge? If you found yourself nodding, realizing how many of these signs you've seen in your own life, then you already know how powerful this knowledge can be. But we're only scratching the surface. There's so much more about attraction, psychology, and human connection that most people never understand. That's why I invite you, don't just leave now. Subscribe to Psychology of Desire, because every week we dive deeper into the hidden truths of attraction, relationships, and the unspoken games of the heart. Remember, sometimes the signs are silent, but once you learn how to hear them, you'll never look at human connection the same way again. So subscribe, stay curious, and let's continue exploring the secrets of desire together.